Situated north of the San Bernardino Mountains and at the edge of the Mojave Desert lies a decent-sized city. There isn't much to the east, just miles and miles of sand and barren land. With a history of violence, this facility is known for homicides and assaults. Recently, racist and discriminatory behavior by staff has come to light. It also houses high-ranking members of drug trafficking organizations that terrorize their communities. We'll be taking a look at a federal correctional complex that includes a high-security penitentiary and two medium-security institutions. Federal Correctional Complex Victorville. Let's get into it. We'll take a look at the town that hosts the prison and some facts about the facility before moving on to notable incidents and infamous inmates at the complex. Victorville started as nothing more than a stop towards the coast of California. The area was inhospitable to settlers and was not a desirable place to live. It wasn't until the establishment of Victorville Army Airfield in 1941 that the town began to be built up. The airfield would be renamed the George Air Force Base. FCC Victorville would be located on the property following the closure of the base in 1988. Victorville would have almost 11,000 people in 1970, which would swell to over 130,000 by 2020. The town is continuing to show population growth. Some would describe the summer in Victorville as sweltering, with average daily temperatures reaching almost 100 degrees. The AC bill at the prison can't be cheap. The temperature swing at night is almost unbelievable, with it almost being 40 degrees cooler. Route 66 was built through the city, with a much recommended Route 66 museum located within the city. FCC Victorville, or Federal Correctional Complex Victorville, has three separate facilities. It has two medium security facilities, FCI Victorville Medium 1 and FCI Victorville Medium 2. The most well-known is, of course, the United States Penitentiary. We'll focus more on the high-security penitentiary, but I'll also include some information on the medium-security facilities as well. The penitentiary opened up on October 21, 2004 and began to accept its first inmates. The complex sits on a total of 960 acres. It was built by Hensel Phelps, one of the largest general contractors in the United States. The final construction cost of the penitentiary was $101.4 million. The prison was built with the same design as USP Tucson and USP Terre Haute. Click the link above to check out my video on that prison. USP Victorville has a rated capacity of 960 inmates, but currently the Bureau of Prisons lists a population of 998 inmates. Medium 1 has over 1,800 and is the bigger of the two medium security facilities. In total, the complex has almost 4,000 inmates. On an interesting note, Medium 1 houses male and female offenders. Full House star Lori Loughlin was housed in the female section during her 2-month stint in 2020 for paying bribes in a college admissions scandal. USP Victorville has an almost equal number of custody staff as inmates. The facility has 6 V-shaped housing units and are labeled as Unit 1 through 6. The prison yard is located in the middle with the housing units on the outside. Positioned in the center of the prison is a tower that has a full 360-degree view. An additional 6 towers keep watch on the perimeter of the penitentiary. And if an offender tries to escape, he has to contend with a lethal electric double fence. The cells are a standard 13x6 and are double bunked. Not much room to possibly spend years of your life. Even more restrictive is the secure housing unit, or SHU, where inmates are double bunked and in their cells 23 hours a day. Unfortunately, this prison made the news in September 2022 after racist and misogynistic behavior by staff at the prison was uncovered. An Instagram page was found where alleged staff members were posting inappropriate and demeaning memes and other jokes. One post read, "Better get them early before they belong to the yard," in reference to female staff members. A representative of the local union for the correctional officers commented that, "It's a blemish to the agency. It's unconscionable that people would do this." In 2018, the New York Times published an investigation into similar claims. The article was titled "Hazing, Humiliation, Terror: Working While Female in Federal Prison." It profiled the working conditions of female staff at this prison and across the country. The Bureau of Prisons claimed to make changes to policies and took disciplinary actions against those involved in the harassment. In March 2021, Paul Hayes, a lieutenant with the Special Investigation Unit, was convicted of taking money in exchange for bringing contraband into the facility. The SIU is in charge of investigating illegal activity by officers and inmates. How fitting. Per court documents, he was paid more than $15,000 to bring in methamphetamine, Suboxone, and cell phones. Hayes was sentenced to 15 months in federal prison. BOP records show that he was released from federal prison on March 23, 2022. There have been many violent incidents at the USP between staff and inmates. The former president of the Aryan Brotherhood of Ohio was beaten to death in his cell in 2013. Not many details were released following the incident. Chances are it was a gang retaliation murder. More recently, a man was killed during an altercation in October 2021. Robert Henderson was serving a 70-month sentence on a firearm charge. He'd only been at the prison for 8 months. It's not often that you hear that an inmate almost kills the warden of a prison, but this was the case at FCI Victorville Medium 2 in May 2016. Fazlidin Kurbanov was able to creep up behind Warden Calvin Johnson and slit his throat with a 4-inch shank. Kurbanov was in prison on terrorism-related charges. He was convicted and serving a 25-year sentence for providing material support to a foreign terrorist organization. At sentencing on the attempted murder case, he expressed no remorse and reiterated his hatred towards the United States. He was sentenced to an additional 20-year sentence to be served consecutively. Kurbanov is now housed at the dreaded ADX Florence, where his freedoms are extremely limited. Before moving on to some infamous inmates at the facility, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content. Current inmates located at the high security penitentiary include a Los Zetas cartel leader, leader of the Chicago Latin Kings, and a serial bank robber. Hugo Cesar Ramon Chavarria was a high-ranking member of the Zetas and was in charge of the North Texas operations. He moved large amounts of cocaine from Mexico to the area and was indicted on federal drug trafficking charges in 2011. He would not be arrested until 2018 and was extradited to the US by Mexico. Surprisingly, he pled guilty and was sentenced to life in prison. It was also suspected that Chavarria was involved in the massacre of hundreds of people in Allende, Mexico. Following the conviction, the federal prosecutor said, "The mill of justice grinds slowly, but it grinds finely." Our next notable offender is Agustin Zambrano, or Big Tino. At the time of his conviction, the Justice Department called Zambrano the highest-ranking leader nationwide of the Latin King street gang. Zambrano was sentenced to 60 years in prison on RICO charges. Some say RICO cases are unbeatable. A press release added that he oversaw a gang with 10,000 members in Illinois alone. The Bureau of Prisons lists the release date of Zambrano as November 13, 2060. Our final criminal located at USP Victorville is Juan Holiday. Although not well known per se, Juan Holiday left many businesses on edge during his San Diego crime spree. Over the course of 5 months, he was convicted of robbing 10 businesses while brandishing a firearm. He fired shots, pistol whipped, and beat the victims. The judge described Holiday as violent and aggressive during sentencing, which led to an 85-year sentence. He has a release date of October 30th, 2090. FCC Victorville, with its 2 medium security institutions and high security penitentiary, is a well-known facility in the Los Angeles area. USP Victorville, much like other similar prisons, has had its fair share of violent incidents. FCC Victorville has had scandal after scandal involving racist and offensive behavior by prison staff, which the BOP claims has been addressed. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this prison complex. Be sure to check out my other federal prison profiles. As always, see you next time.